Welcome to Still Eligible. I am Jack. Pat is to my left, and we are a comedic sports podcast. We drop our podcast every Thursday. You can listen to it any day. We also like to travel. We travel around, go to the biggest college sporting events, talk a little bit about rivalries. Today, we had Jenny Fisher on the podcast. We had a great conversation with her. Talk about her Keep Showing Up brand, mental health awareness. We build bands, our own bands, WNBA and NBA players in there, and I make a joke about the School of Rock that just absolutely did not land. What do you say? Let's get into it.
Yeah,
okay.
let's do it. I'd like to start with appreciate yous, if you're okay with that.
I would appreciate that.
Would you?
Yes, I just said it.
This is a segment where we use Jack's catchphrase. We pick a few people / topics who did some cool stuff this past week. We let them know that we appreciate them. So my first appreciate you, I don't want to say what it is quite yet. I think you'll pick up on it, but I just want to say that Bill Gates and Melinda Gates got divorced, in case you weren't aware.
Okay.
Also, Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie Scott got separated fairly recently. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, Alex Rodriguez, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, and that girl on Raya who unmatched him.
Just a lot of money floating around.
There is. So my appreciate is being single, actually. It's not divorce.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's that going?
We're both single guys. It's good. It's a good time. So just more people joining the club.
The club. It's an elite club.
It is. So, yeah, being single, appreciate you.
Wow. Love it, I guess. Mine is Anderson Varejao. Anderson Varejao re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He originally played for the Cavs. He started in 2004. I was in fourth grade. I remember Anderson Varejao. I was a big Anderson Varejao fan. Try saying Anderson Varejao 10 times fast.
No thanks.
Anyways, he's back, better than ever. He's got the crazy hair. Cleveland fans know it. Everyone has the wigs, whatever. Shoot the three, Andy V. That was a sign that I made. Put my head through the hole, drew the crazy hair. I got on the Jumbotron, and the rest was history. I was destined to be here with you.
How many times have you been on a Jumbotron before?
A lot.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I've got a face for a Jumbotron. Anyways, yeah, so he's back. We love Andy. In 2016, when the Cavs beat the Warriors in the finals, he actually started the season with the Cavs, was traded to Portland, released by Portland, picked up by the Warriors. The Cavs beat the Warriors 3-1, they blew a 3-1 lead in the finals, and Anderson Varejao was on the other side of the puzzle there. The Cavs offered him a ring. He said no, out of respect. I respect that.
True competitor.
Yeah. So Anderson Varejao, very happy to have you back. I don't know how that's going to go for you. Your legs have seen some miles, and I don't know. At least you got the hair. We appreciate that. So Anderson Varejao, appreciate you.
I'm going to let you take this next one because it's an unappreciated.
Unappreciate you. A lot to unpack here. I don't know if you heard this. This came across my desk this morning. My guy Darius, he's lost. You're like, Pat, Jack. You're Pat. You're saying, Jack.
Yes.
What? Who was Darius and what happened to him? Darius was the longest rabbit on record. He's 4'2" was what he came in at in 2010.
Unit.
Yeah, absolute unit. He's 12 years old. Mrs. Edwards, his owner, if you will, is worried about him. She put out a reward, 2,000 pounds. The rabbit's not 2,000 pounds. That's how much she's willing to pay people if they can find Darius. And luckily, it's probably easy to find considering he's the world's longest rabbit. Yeah. In 2010, Darius was insured for $1.6 million, and he traveled around with a bodyguard. And she's worried about his health if he doesn't eat properly while he's gone. She's worried he might pass away. Thus, she is Carol Baskins. I think that she wants the money. I don't think she cares about Darius. I think Darius is long gone. I don't know. I think she's out here trying to find him, acting like she cares about him, but she really just cares about the money. And as a wise woman once said, it's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money. We just need Darius. So
that's the remix.
I don't appreciate you, Mrs. Edwards, at all. Darius, wherever you are, I appreciate you.
I hope you're still alive, yeah.
That's all I care about.
This one also came across my desk. We've gotten some interesting news stories across our desk recently.
Yes.
University of Kentucky mistakenly sent acceptance emails to 500,000 high school seniors.
That's a lot. I got one, and I'm not even in high school.
That's for a program that usually accepts about 3 dozen students a year. So they apologized within 24 hours. People who didn't even apply got an email. And
That's
we're
awesome.
like, wow.
What program was it? Their dentistry program?
You know?
It was health sciences.
Yeah.
Health sciences. Yeah.
So I did not get accepted, actually. I should probably check my spam email, though. Maybe I did.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I guess
you don't want to do that.
Yeah, University of Kentucky, appreciate you for rectifying it. But
yeah, they cleaned it up.
Maybe don't let that happen again in the future. I don't know.
We've got one more. Appreciate you. This one, I think we can tag team.
Mm-hmm.
We do these from time to time. To all you still eligible mothers out there.
Meaning
it's Mother's Day.
Meaning our moms, not single moms.
Well, you also mentioned single people earlier, so
we can
combine them. Single moms as well. Moms are moms, Pat.
Specifically, our moms. We want to
just like rabbits. Moms come in all sizes and ages.
Sure. And Mother's Day is coming up. We just want to say we love our moms. I got to meet your mom the other day.
I love your mom.
We filmed a video with your mom. She crushed it. She's a great actress.
Stay tuned.
And then my mom, I know, is looking forward to having you for Thanksgiving in Ann Arbor. So we have that to look forward to. But love moms. Very, very appreciative of everything that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got to give a shout out to my mom, too.
Yeah. Sandra's got a mom.
I do have a mom. Jenny, I see you. Love you.
Well, you can't see her, but we can see her.
Yeah.
Not your mom, you.
Yeah. You can see me.
If you're watching
see me appreciating
We're guaranteed 3 views every week. Maybe 6. 6.
That's where the views come
Our
from.
3 moms and the 3 of us to make sure I didn't say anything stupid and miss it when we were editing.
Yep. So moms, specifically our moms.
And single moms. And moms that are married.
Appreciate you. All right, we got a great interview with Jenny Fisher coming up.
Awesome.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, something we both care about, and I like that in the sports industry especially people are starting to talk about it more. She's kind of been leading the charge with that. She has her Keep Showing Up t-shirts that we have.
Yes.
Great merch. Had a great interview with her. I say we just get right into it. We got a great guest today.
That we do.
Jenny Fisher. She's had, I think you said 19 jobs in sports?
I don't know if it's 19. You've had a ton. That's for
She's
sure.
had a ton. Let's just name a few of them real quick. Currently works in digital and social for the WNBA and G League. Previously worked for the NCAA, the Big East Conference, Marquette Athletics, and Fox Sports. She's a proud Marquette alum. We're super happy to have her on. Welcome to the podcast, Jenny Fisher.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, like you said, you've been doing a lot of stuff. One thing that you are in charge of, leading a force, if you will, is selling these T-shirts. We're repping these T-shirts. Keep showing up. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. We bought your T-shirts. We support your cause that you're leading. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And it's taken off. I mean, it really has. And you just dropped some new merch too. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys repping it. I don't wear it like when I come on to talk about it because it feels like I'm wearing the like band T-shirt to the like concert like type of feel. So it feels a little weird sometimes, but it is really, really good to see that people have actually supported it and really bought into it, literally, and then also just with what's behind it and the awareness that it's creating. So yeah, I mean, it started back in September. It's now May, like you said, Mental Health Awareness Month. So I tried to give it a little bit of a reboot, give people that maybe bought the T-shirt an opportunity to get something different, and then also just, keep it fresh and try and incorporate something new with my handwriting for one of the designs, and just been working with the company because, again, it's 100% of the proceeds that go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So it's been over $35,000 raised so far. It's just been a crazy process too. Like Kevin Love ended up getting a T-shirt. Juju Smith-Schuster got like 3 T-shirts and donated $1,000. It It was featured on League Fits at one point with like some guys in the bubble for the G League that ended up wearing it. And so it's little things like that where it's like you don't expect it or like you don't ask for it or like push it on people. So you just hope that like, something resonates or they're able to like dig deep into their hearts or whatever. And so it's just really, really cool to see that something that I hoped would mean something to others has really, actually taken off.
And it has taken off. And like you said, you kind of didn't. What was your mentality when you started this? I know, like you said, everything, all the proceeds are donated, but it has taken off. Kevin Love, Juju Smith-Schuster. Tons of people all over. I've seen people wear it, and we've gone to different sporting events and stuff like that. It's really taken off in the sports media industry and sports world as a whole. But what was your goal, if you will, and then how has it taken off?
Well, you're gonna laugh because when I first like created it, I was like, okay, I'll order it through this company. I'll send it to my New York apartment. Like, I'll just put out an ask on Twitter, see how many people want one. And I was like, maybe I'll sell 50 t-shirts, and that's very doable for me. I can go to the post office, mail them out, get sizes, like collect the money, donate it all. Like, it'll be simple. And then I sold 283 t-shirts in the first order. And so in my tiny New York apartment, I have like boxes of 283 t-shirts, and I'm like,
flip them all yourself.
It was insane. And again, I was like, okay, this is too much for one person to do. So like I said, worked with the company Customing to be able to like just have people order through the link as long as 15 of them sell and so on and so forth. But my mentality at the beginning was like, maybe I can do a little bit of good and like it can help someone else as well. Because it wasn't just about like the raising money for me. I was like, that's obviously a big portion of it. And again, 100% of the proceeds. So it's not like I'm pocketing this. But I also was like, this is like two or threefold. Like the second part being that it literally spreads awareness, like a visible awareness for, it creates conversations, people walking on the street. I had someone message me that like in the NCAA volleyball bubble, quote unquote, that they had for the NCAA tournament, that she saw people wearing the shirt and was like asking about it. And so it's twofold in that way, the awareness, but threefold, I feel like it's really like created a community of sorts. Like people know like what it means and that they're together in this and that they have people that will keep showing up for them as well. So again, it wasn't really my goal in the beginning. It was just to try and make a small difference. And now it's, again, I still feel like there's a long way to go, right? Like, and I think my ultimate goal now is like to raise $100,000 in the next year or two. And so it's trying to figure out new ways to do that. Maybe a basketball tournament that raises money, especially now that COVID times are hopefully, fingers crossed, nearing an end. So it can sort of open up more opportunities and ways for people to get involved in different ways.
Can you just talk a little bit about the origin of the saying and kind of your history with kind of spreading awareness?
Yeah. So back in like 2018, it had to be, I was scrolling through Twitter, my favorite social media, and I saw this tweet from a woman named Desi Linden, and she is a runner, and I hate running, and I'm not into like the running world at all. But it was this tweet that she had written, and she said, "Some days it'll feel like you're born to do this. Other days it'll feel like you're trudging through hell. No matter what, keep showing up, seeing what you've got, and giving it your best shot." And I read that, and I was like, this has spoken to me more than anything else. Like, and just like the even the beginning part of like, some days it'll feel like you're trudging through hell, other days it'll feel like you're born to do this. I'm like, whether that's in work or in your relationships, family life, what have you, like that's how it can feel. And I think everyone experiences that in some way. And so I had written it down on a sticky note, put it on my mirror in my college apartment, and I was like, that's going to be my thing. I'm just going to keep showing up. And so I actually had made a friend and I shirts that said it. It was just for me and the one other friend. It's the exact same design that I ended up using this time around, just as like a good reminder for us, because they knew that I liked it. I knew that they liked the quote as well. And then once I dove deeper into it, like I figured out that more people really enjoyed the quote, keep showing up. And it's something, again, like it's not trademarked and anything like that. So that's why it's available for this kind of usage. And it's just something that, again, like it just stuck with me. I don't think it's like anything crazy. I'm a big wordy, like I love quotes and things like that. I have a journal where I write down like different things I like, and this happened to be one of like the biggest ones. And again, it just kind of turned into this thing where I said it showed up on a t-shirt, and now it's showing up on like almost 3,000 t-shirts, which is insane.
It's crazy. You're an excellent writer. We've read some of your stuff, and you can tell that you have like that message, and you keep that consistent throughout. And I see common trends, and I like that about writing and writers in general. So I get what you're saying there. And however we can help in the basketball tournament, we'd love to be a part of that. I feel like that'd be sweet. And I don't know if we can bring much to the table. We could maybe give some cool play-by-play and audio or whatever you need from us. But
that would be amazing.
We can probably provide more off of the court than we can.
Yeah, definitely not on the court.
Yeah.
Are you sure though? Like, you guys have never played basketball?
I mean, I could probably beat Pat. That's a given.
I don't know about that, but
You're pretty good at basketball, right?
I mean, I could dunk a tennis ball in 7th grade. That's when I peaked. So.
Who's taller?
I'm taller.
That's taller.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm cuter, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kevin Love repped the shirt like you said, and people all around the sports world have been embracing this. Like, what does that mean to you? Like, how has that impacted growing this from that perspective? Like, obviously, it's huge in the sports world, and that's like its own little world as a whole. We talk about it all the time as content creators and stuff like this. Like, my roommate and my friends that like follow me on Twitter, just supporting me and whatever, they're like, you're a part of one of the weirdest like underground cultures ever of this like social media sports world. And granted, like, it's way beyond that, but it's such a cool family that you either know about or you don't know about. But my Twitter feed is definitely way different than theirs. So how has that helped shape this at all?
Well, and that's the funny thing too, because like at the beginning, at some point, I had said like, wow, if Kevin Love ever got a shirt, like I would just cry, because back like whenever he had written his Players Tribune piece, I think it had to be like 3 years ago now. Yeah. That was like the first time I had seen someone in basketball like blatantly talk about it. And like now that like I've done more research, and especially working for the W, right, and like trying to find content even for Mental Health Awareness Month, like Shamiqua Holdsclaw from Tennessee, like she was one of the first athletes to be open about being bipolar. And again, that's like pre my time, but still it was something where once you look back, you start to realize more. But for me, like the Kevin Love was a blatant example of like, oh, he's just going to come out and talk about it, and he's going to write about it, and he's going to keep talking about it. And so I was like, man, if he ever got a shirt, like I would be, whoa. And of course we live in this like community, like you said, where like, I know people who work for the Cavs, or like I know people like what I was just in the bubble with, she's an assistant GM for the Cavs, and she was with the Canton Charge at the time. And she was like, I can help you. And I was like, but no, like I'm never going to go to you and be like, can you please give Kevin Love this? Like it's like that awkward. I'm never trying to force it on anyone, because when you try and sell people something or try and like, I don't know, maybe it's the Midwest in me, but like, it's just not my vibe. And so I was like,
what's the Midwest?
Yes. I was like, we're just going to let it happen. If it happens, it'll happen. And someone have reached out to me from the Cavs, Jimmy Longo, so shout out to him. And he was like, hey, like Kevin wants a shirt. And I was like, okay. And he was like, can you write him a note explaining what it is? And so I did. And it was like this long. I took a picture of it too, because I was just like, you wrote that much on a little card? Like Kevin's not even going to be able to read what you said. But basically I was like, you were one of the first people in basketball that I saw talk about mental health. And it combined like two things I really care about in basketball and mental health awareness, and shared a little bit about my story and why. And I was like, just thank you for being open, because it helped me to be open. And I think that's always the ripple effect in this too. But yeah, having the community that we like, Grant Williams from the Celtics was wearing a shirt, and like, again, and it just like pops up now, and it's getting to the point where I don't know like what person's going to have it next. And I'm like, oh, now I'm going to get tagged in something, and it's going to be this person. And so it's kind of like a fun surprise element to it too.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a dog too. We saw Butler Blue got a shirt.
That's our
Another
guy,
famous
Butler
one.
Blue.
How could I forget? Butler Blue getting one was like a big moment. I was like, a dog got one?
What size is Butler Blue? Do you know?
I have no clue, but he wore whatever size very well.
He did look good.
I saw that you're, speaking of like the new design, I saw that your sister got a tattoo recently featuring your handwriting. Can you talk about how that came to be?
Yeah, so it's my cousin. She's basically like a sister,
Okay.
though.
Sorry.
And no, you're all good. She's the same age as me. She grew up in New Jersey. Our dads are both from New Jersey originally. And now, honestly, in our adult lives, we've gotten to see each other 10 times more after being so close, because she lives in Brooklyn and I live here in Manhattan. And so she's like always my best friend. Actually, we went out to go get coffee on, I think it was Saturday morning. And I had to work, and so I brought my laptop, and she was like, hey, I told my friend I'd go on a bike ride. Like, I'll be back. Like, I'll see you later, whatever. We'll reconvene at some point. And then, so I go back to my apartment, and she texts me like an hour later, and she goes, I lied. I'm coming over. And I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? And she was like, I have a surprise. And I'm like, is she gonna like bring me flowers or like more food? Like, and she was like, please don't be weirded out, but like, I got this. And I was like, almost crying because that's like my handwriting on someone's body permanently. And I'm like, what in the world? And like, she has other tattoos and stuff. And I have no tattoos also. So I think like in my brain, I was like, what? Like, you want to you want that on your body like me? And it was just like really special because the way that she explained it, like she's had her own mental health struggles and just trying to like, you know, make good of it and like try and have that constant reminder. It's right on her wrist. And so she's like, you know, you mean a lot to me, and just the way that you show up, and she's someone that's always showed up for me. And so again, like, you talk about it resonating with people. Someone else at the very beginning of it too had actually gotten it tattooed on their body, not my handwriting, I think, and I don't know the person, so that would have been extra weird if they did that. But if anyone wants to get it, I guess they can. Like, but again, like I'm so close with her that it's not weird. But someone else at the beginning got keep showing up tattooed on them, and I was just like, whoa, like it means that much to that like person. And so it was cool to be able to have her do that and surprise me with it. The surprise part, I was like taken aback, but at the same time, yeah, what it boils down to is like someone that has consistently showed up for me and is, you know, willing and trying to do something as big as tattooing it on her body. And it's like also like a support factor, right? Like, so it was really, I just love her. Like, I know that sounds really cheesy, but like if someone's willing to like get your handwriting tattooed on them, they're a phenomenal person.
Yeah. That had to be like a very humbling experience too. Just like, I mean, like you said, it caught you off guard, and I can't even imagine. So
yes, it really has not happened before. So
I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen for us.
Probably not.
Probably not. But you've been a champion in the mental health world and community, and I mean, obviously the Keep Showing Up campaign and just these walking billboards just run around town and stuff like that. Who are a few people that inspire you in the sports world, or that make you keep showing up? It doesn't necessarily need to be sports, I guess. Like you said, your friend, your cousin. Who would that be for you?
yeah, well, I think like immediately it makes me think of my family, right? Like my dad, I always talk about him like in the way of like, I don't know how he does what he does. Like he has 3 kids, you know, like obviously went through a lot with like everything that's involved with my story. So I'm just like, the fact that like he can keep showing up and like doing what he does, I'm just like, whoa, like that's just like a whole different level to me. But like I just have really great friends, and like the people that you meet in this industry in particular, like, and some of them are like people you may not know super well, or like my prime example is Kara Kay. She does Michigan State men's basketball, digital and social, right? I had someone tell me like, oh, you would probably like this girl Kara. You guys would probably get along well. She ended up being at the Champions Classic in 2019, I think it was, and I happened to be there with the NCAA, and we met, and we were like fast friends, like best friends off the bat. Like, and now she's one of my closest friends. We like did a road trip together last June, and like we FaceTimed for like 2 hours yesterday. Like, and again, it's like people like that you just don't even expect either. But the sports world and the content world all kind of puts you on like that level of understanding where you can jump to like, okay, now that you get all that stuff that I do in my work life, like let's just go into the rest. And I don't know, just the understanding also, like this is a job where it's a lot of long hours and weird times and weekends and late nights. And so to be able to have people in the industry that support you in that way is also like inspiring to me. And so honestly, it ranges far and wide. There's role models and like my mentors that I've had as well. I had a professor at Marquette, Herb Lowe. He's still like one of my favorite people of all time. And I hated him at first. I thought he was a trash professor. And he would like push my buttons, and like, I don't know a better way to put it. Like, just imagine like this kind of like confident, tall, blonde chick walking into this journalism class, and he's like this older, bigger black man from Philly, like just like is like don't mess with me attitude. And I was like, oh, we're not going to get along. And I would go into his office every Friday and work through my resume. And he one day said, I would buy stock in Jenny Fisher. And I was like, what? And I was like, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. And so it's people like that too, where it's like they encourage you to keep going and keep pushing. Or I had a phone call with Joanne Scott from the NCAA the other day for like 2 hours. And she was like talking to me about being able to find your flow and how she read this book called Find Your Flow and like how that's helped her avoid burnout in her career and be able to keep going. And so little things like that, or like comments that they make, again, she was like, you have some kind of like drive in you, Jenny, and I don't think everyone has that. So like keep going with it. It's like little things like that. And again, as a wordie, when they come from important people that are in your circle or just inspire you, it means even more.
Yeah. Just in terms of mental illness, I know I've struggled with my own issues with depression and anxiety. Can you just talk a little bit about like the importance of talking about it? Because I know for me personally, like hearing friends, family, when I was growing up, no one really talked about it as much as they obviously feel like it gets a little better each year, but there's still a long way to go. Like the importance of just being, visible with it, talking about it, like not hiding it essentially.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely huge because visibility, I feel like, makes it real. Like once it comes out of your mouth, or it's realized in some sort of way that like makes it better for that person or those around them, then I think it benefits us all, right? And something I'm really big on, again, with the words, is like making sure we talk about it in like good ways and like the right kind of ways, right? Like, so saying like, rather than like Jenny is anxious, saying Jenny has anxiety, because rather than making me the mental illness or whatever it may be, it separates it, because people I genuinely believe are greater than those illnesses. Or saying died by suicide instead of committed suicide, because committed is synonymous with like sinful or crimeful. And so little things like that, where again, that's more like in the back of my head when I try and talk about it on like a bigger platform. But like in those one-to-one relationships or in family friend settings, I just think it like that's where the bigger conversations begin. Again, like the t-shirts, right? Like this began with a t-shirt that I had for a friend and it wasn't necessarily mental health related at the time, right? But like it's obviously tied to it in such a way where it's like you just got to keep showing up, and like I took it in that way. And so I mean, I just think you can't understate the importance of being able to talk about what we're going through, because I think also like to just be alone, to keep it to yourself, to be in your own head is like probably one of the worst things you can do, because the isolation factor, like especially in COVID times, right? Like it's just like detrimental, and you just have to find a way to be able to feel comfortable, be around the right kinds of people, talking about it in ways where you feel comfortable and you can find a way that benefits you and others and be able to get help.
Yeah.
That's like a long answer too.
No, that was a great answer. That was a great answer.
Phenomenal answer. Thank you both for that. That was awesome. I think we'd both buy stock in Jenny Fisher as well. You're a grinder. You kill it. We support you. New gear just dropped. All donations go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about what you do now, grill you with some questions, have some fun. I greatly appreciate the first half of the interview. It was awesome. Pat, you have anything else to say?
No, thank you for just being honest and open and talking about it. I think it's super important. So we'll take a break and then come back in a second.
Awesome.
You're doing this one.
Is that hip hop? I don't know.
I don't know.
Only time will tell.
TBD.
We are back. We are back with Jenny Fisher, Jack Schrail, Pat Stanzik. Jenny, we know that you're talented with a camera, with leading in many different ways, but one thing that people might not know about you is that you're musically talented. A little piano, guitar, ukulele. What else am I missing?
Oh, you really did research.
I was just started guessing instruments, really. I did no research at all. So we made this little game, and we want your insight on it. So if you were to start a band, a basketball band that is, you're in the band. You can pick your spot in the band. You can have as many people in the band as you want, but we're thinking WNBA, NBA players. Who's in your band? Why are they in your band? And then Pat and I put our own band together, but we feel that you should go first. Maybe like a lead singer, guitarist, bassist, drummer, manager, if you will. We've got our manager in Sandra, but the rest we'll fill out later.
Okay, so
you were not prepared for this.
So I'll say like who I would have as the lead singer, and then we can go around the table, or you want me to give like my whole...
No, you're just doing your full band.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you're in the band too, so take that into consideration.
Okay, well, I'm a 4-time state choir champ in the state of Wisconsin.
Wow.
Oh, brother.
But I'm not going to pick myself as the singer because now I don't try. Like, like how you get used to like singing in the car to the radio, like that's as far as I'll go now. I'm not going to try. So I'm going to pick Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo, I think, would make for a great lead singer. And he just has like a lot of range, He can go a little jazzy, he can like go beyond that. So I think he would have to be my lead singer. Carol Lawson plays piano, and I love a good piano. Again, it could pair very well with Victor Oladipo's talents. So if I'm going in that way, I guess. And then Emmanuel quickly can play the drums, kid from Kentucky who's on the Knicks now. Yeah. I remember seeing a really well done video from Kentucky men's basketball on that. So it's like kind of, how many people do you need in a band? I would love like if a saxophone, but I don't know any NBA or WNBA players that play the saxophone. Maybe Essence Carson actually from the WNBA. She actually might be able to, but
even if she can't, she can learn.
She can still you can just put her in there.
Yeah, I can try it, but I do play guitar and ukulele and piano also, but I would probably put myself on ukulele just because it's quite the band. This is like a very strange array, but that would have to be it. So Oladipo, Emmanuel Quickly, Carol Lawson, maybe Essence Carson, and then myself. I don't know how it would sound all together.
Well, can we hear you sing?
No, I only sing for my nephew, and I sing like Baby Shark or like You Are My Sunshine to him.
That's cool, Baby Shark. Let's hear it.
No, we'll get there. I want to hear your band first.
All right, Pat, do you want to go through our band?
Yeah, so, obviously me and Jack are going to be in the band.
Yep.
Our first pick, not necessarily...
Wait, do you want to tell her what kind of band we are?
We'll tell her at
the end.
We'll tell her at the end.
Yeah.
Mike Breen
Yep.
is going to be in our band.
See, so I didn't even think about... Okay.
Yeah.
Bang! Yeah, if you think of like a retroactive pick, like I did notice you didn't select a manager, so...
Yeah. You want to go back and pick your manager before we tell you who else is in the band?
Let me think about it while you guys go. You might inspire
me. We only have one more person in the band, and that would be Pax the Panda, the Washington Mystics mascot.
You guys went really like... I had to think about players. I was like, what players would be good in a band?
Yeah, well, you're thinking too narrow-minded. You got to think outside the box. Yeah, we went that, and Pat, tell her what kind of band.
Yeah, we're a barbershop quartet, so.
So we figured Pat and I could get all the glory, and then we could get a random bang every once in a while, and then the mascot's not going to do anything. So
we're really stealing the show there.
Have to pause.
And then Sandra's our manager. Sandra actually can sing better than the rest of our quartet.
Wow.
You want to sing Baby Shark? You guys should sing it together.
Jenny and I will connect outside the podcast and then
set up a
for
call.
our little duet before
There
the
we
barbershop quartet has its time to shine.
Perfect. We'll open for you guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Someone's got to do it.
We'll do our part. Yeah.
So anyone you want to add to yours after hearing ours?
I don't know, because I really wanted my band to be like good. I had to like think.
What are you saying?
Okay, that was really bad.
Band's not good.
That was really backhanded. I didn't even mean to. But I was like, ooh, they have to be like the best of the best, because that's just like where my mind goes. So I was like, Victor Oladipo, like boom. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is. It's still a good band.
Just because you're not in the band doesn't mean you're not in the band.
They would win a Wisconsin high school state choir competition, I think. My band.
Yeah.
I would love to see footage of that competition someday if you have it.
We're gonna keep it buried, I think.
Okay.
But
what is the name of your band while we're talking about it?
Oh gosh, you're really putting me on the creative spot here.
Pat, come
Do
up
you have a
with
name
ours
for
while
your
she's
band?
thinking. No, Pat's coming up with it right now.
I mean, I just wrote down Bang Bang, but I don't.
Bang bang. That's our
It
band.
just came to me.
It works out well. I would have to think about it too. I would want
Alright.
Victor Oladipo to be the face of it, so I would do something with his name.
Depot. Deep. Sax. Deep. Ola. I don't know. I've got nothing. This is your band, not my band.
Isn't there like a not like a hip hop guy? Diplo. I'm thinking of Diplo. It's like Diplo but Depot.
There you go.
There you go.
Good band. All
It
right.
works. It works.
You win that
This is
round.
why I don't work in the music industry.
All right, Pat. You got the next one?
Yeah. So we're big into rivalries here. We met each other through our jobs at Michigan and Ohio State, so we like to think that we got a pulse on kind of the best rivalries in college sports. But I guess outside of college football, because we've got that one covered. What's like your picks for the best rivalries, and maybe some that people might not know as well, but just you've traveled to a lot of different schools, you've kind of been to a lot of these different places. So what are your
It could
picks?
be NBA, WNBA,
Professional,
college,
college.
whatever you're into. And yeah, it's been 3,447 days since Michigan's beaten Ohio State. But you can carry on.
Good to know.
Well, now that stat makes me think about if you really want me to go outlandish here. Well, I'll start with this. I think college rivalries are better than professional rivalries because you have fan bases and of students and alumni and all that to back it, right? So like Duke, North Carolina, like that's always going to have like a lot more stake than I don't know, a Lakers Celtics game or something like 20 years from now. So, but what also came, so I'm gonna say Duke, North Carolina. I know that's easy, but like I think like it truly is. I wish I could say Wisconsin Marquette, but like I can't. It's just Marquette fans thinking it's a rivalry, and then Wisconsin fans saying no, it's not. So that's the difficult position that I'm in. But what came to my mind when you gave the stat was, so have you ever heard the term Bucks and Six?
I have heard the term Bucks and Six.
So like for the Milwaukee Bucks, I think I have my Bucks cup with me too. But so I'm a Bucks fan, right? Which was really sad growing up because they were terrible. And like my middle school girls basketball team would play at the games, and like that's how bad they were that they had middle school girls playing at halftime. And so Brandon Jennings back in like 2012, 2013 said Bucks and Six for the first time, and it was right before they were about to face the Heat in the first round of the playoffs. And the Bucks went 0-4 against them, and obviously it did not go in 6. And then it got me thinking after all this had happened, right? The Bucks have never won in 6 in the playoffs since that was said. Like
Wow.
they've obviously made it to the Eastern Conference Finals in like 2018-19, but they had never won a series in 6 games. And so I feel like an undersold rivalry is Milwaukee Bucks fans versus Bucks and 6.
That's unreal.
Wow.
I did not see that coming.
I mean, it's
And
a
now I know what I'm
losing
betting
rivalry
on come playoffs.
because that's what they chant. Like all the fans are like Bucks and 6, and now I'm like, it has never happened since that was said. Like maybe we should stop saying it. So that is
Very
one
nice.
undersold, outlandish rivalry. I didn't get it with the band, but I got it now. That I think is one of the best rivalries in basketball.
Where you know? I had no idea.
The more
It's a
you
great
know.
story. There we go. Speaking of stories, we do this thing called I'll Leave You With This. It's where we wrap up the podcast and we kind of give our guests or us, tell a funny story, cool story, something that people that might not work in the sports world that are listening to this, like, they're like, all right, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that that was a thing or whatever. You've done some stuff. You've been around. You've done the G League bubble, WNBA, traveled around the country with the women's NCAA and whatnot. You had to have one cool story along your journey. So do you have anything you can leave the people with?
Yeah, well, the most recent one to come to mind, and I've never actually told this story besides to like a friend or two because I was like, what in the world? In the G
go.
League bubble, right? Like it's like a bunch of like guys who are like a half step down from the NBA or like have had, especially this past year, right? Have had NBA experience and like didn't want to go overseas because like there was so much stake in the G League this year with Ignite and like the COVID implications of everything just force everyone to like want to stay in the US if they could. And so one of the first, this is like a half step into the real story. So like one of the first nights after like the opening weekend, like my two friends and I in the bubble were eating some pizza. Like we get tested 3 times in the morning every day. Like we're following all the protocols, right? But we decided to have a communal pizza, and it's the 3 of us were sitting down, and the teams have to like, they get off the bus like back at the convention center where we were eating our pizza to like go and get their food. And so we're sitting down and Jeremy Lin walks past and he goes, "That pizza looks good." And we're like, "You want some?" And he was like, no. And we're like, "All right." And then he kept walking. And like, again, this is at the very beginning. So like, we don't know if players and people should be this close or even like talking. And so like,
Or
we're
eating
like,
your pizza, probably.
yeah. And we were like, that was really weird. Like Jeremy Lin's like saying our pizza looks good. So again, it was just like, okay. So then it's towards the end of the bubble. And I finally had like an afternoon off, right? Like usually it's 6 games a day. Sometimes it's 4, and I have to be at as many as possible. So like I was there for over a month and a half and like just grinding, right? And finally I get this afternoon off and I'm like, I'm in Florida. I want to order Waffle House. And so I ordered a waffle.
What you do while you're in Florida.
Oh, yes. I was like, I can't escape the bubble, but like I'm by a Waffle House technically, so like I can DoorDash it. Like, so I get a waffle, it might have been 2, from Waffle House, and I take it by the pool, and no one else is there, and so I'm chilling, like eating my waffle and really enjoying myself. Jeremy Lin shows up, and he gets into the pool to like do his whatever things he's doing. And he like kind of like comes over by where I am, and he goes, "Is that a waffle?" And I'm like, "First it's a pizza." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a waffle. Like I got it from Waffle House." And he was like, "That's a really good call. Like you can really eat a waffle whenever." And I was like, it's like 3 in the afternoon. It's like 80 degrees, and I'm just chilling in the pool eating a waffle. And then he like got out, and he started working out, like doing some abs and stuff outside the pool. And I was like, damn, there are 2 kinds of people in this world. Like, work out and just comment on your Waffle House, and then the ones who eat the Waffle House and sit there looking very, some type of way. So again, it's just like stupid and silly. And then there's like a million other moments, right? Like Jonathan Kuminga, one of the top prospects, chucking a fish 20 feet into the water because he didn't know how to throw a fish back. They were like, "Yeah, you just toss it back in," and he throws it like a football. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like has no clue because he's never fished before. And so, like, so many little things. But I think the Jeremy Lin one stuck out to me because like obviously like he's probably one of the biggest names there, and then he's just like, I'm like, is he like a foodie? Like what is up with this? And then commenting on my Waffle House. So it's just funny moments that again they pass you by, and then you're like, oh wait, that happened? Huh? Strange.
That's an awesome story. I did not see that coming. Speaking of food real quick, I'm a big sandwich guy. I've seen that you're a big New Jersey Taylor ham sandwich fan. No idea what that is. Can you break that down for us?
So, like I mentioned earlier, my dad's from New Jersey, even though I grew up in Wisconsin. And so he would literally have it like mailed out to us when I was a kid, and like he would make it with our like Sunday morning breakfast. And so I've been eating it since I was a child, but they only really make it in New Jersey. And then Tompkins Square Bagels in New York has it. There's a spot on 34th and 8th that also has it, but like it's hard to come by. Yeah, it's like hard to come by in New York. But like Tompkins Square Bagels is the best. And I live like a couple blocks from one. And so I'm like, it's like my Sunday go to, get some like ketchup, salt, and pepper on it, on an everything bagel. Like I love it. And again, like you've never had it in your life?
No. Something we got to check out. We're coming to New York hopefully in November. So maybe we'll try it then.
You still got some November?
December?
Far away.
Like well, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll fly there for a bagel. I don't know.
Yes, that's the kind of attitude that I needed to hear. Love it.
That is definitely in our budget, so we'll make it happen.
Yeah. How bad do you want it, Pat?
Not as bad as you, apparently.
And then you need to rate it on the podcast.
Yes.
There we go. The bagels guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you could join us. Never know.
We'll bring it back around. Well, thank you, Jenny, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thank you for continuing the conversation, amplifying the conversation about mental health. That's obviously something we both care about, Sandra cares about. We're just really grateful to have you on the podcast. So thanks for coming on. Keep showing up merch. We just ordered some.
Yeah, we just
actually.
got Pat's a long sleeve tee guy. Who knew it?
Got a long sleeve tee.
I got a hoodie. Neutral.
I think
Heck yeah.
Sandra got a neutral hoodie as well.
I got white, but
Okay.
White.
Thank you so much. Seriously, really appreciate you guys having me on and just being able to spend some time talking with you guys. So really, really appreciate it and keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. It's been a blast. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Had a great time talking to Jenny Fisher. Very important discussion.
Absolutely.
May being Mental Health Awareness Month. Just want to say keep showing up for yourself, keep showing up for other people, and let's keep this discussion going because it's a very important one.
Make sure to follow Jenny on social media at Jenny Lynn Fish. You can go buy some gear. We just got the hoodie, the long sleeve, new tees, new design. All proceeds go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Great cause. Make sure to help it out. We did. You should. So we are still eligible. This is another week, another podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media as well at Still Eligible. If you like what we're doing here, hopefully you do. You made it this far in the podcast. We tell the more stories on social media. At least we try to. So until next time, we're going to go find Darius. If you got any leads, let us know.
Let us know. We'll find him. We'll bring him home safe.
That's the plan.
And if not,
then we're going to cash in.